Welcome back. Please like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Hello everyone, and welcome to our program. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie. Today we are discussing a major development in the technology sector. The White House has just announced a landmark deal with TSMC.
That is correct, Jamie. TSMC, the world leader in making computer chips, plans to invest an additional $100 billion here in the United States.
That is a massive amount of capital. This expansion will build several new state-of-the-art factories. These plants will produce the high-performance semiconductors that power our smartphones and even artificial intelligence.
Precisely. TSMC already has a multi-billion-dollar project in Arizona, but this new investment goes much further. President Trump praised the announcement today, calling it a critical win for national security.
President Trump emphasized the need for a resilient supply chain. In other words, he wants these vital components to be made within the United States rather than relying on overseas production.
Exactly. Industry experts say this move will reduce our dependence on foreign manufacturing. It is also expected to create thousands of high-tech jobs for American workers.
This seems to be part of a larger trend called onshoring. By bringing manufacturing back to the U.S., the government hopes to ensure stability for the economy in the future.
It is certainly a significant step for the 21st century global economy. We will continue to follow this story as the new factories begin construction.
Thank you for joining us for this update.
We will see you again next time.
Hello everyone, and welcome. Today, we are looking at a major development in the technology sector. Japan is making a bold move to regain its position as a global leader in high-end electronics.
That is correct, Alex. The Japanese company Rapidus has officially started trial production of its new 2-nanometer chips. These chips are designed specifically for image processing.
For our listeners who may not know, a 2-nanometer chip is incredibly small and advanced. Smaller chips usually mean two things: faster speeds and lower power consumption.
Exactly. This project is very important for the industry. Rapidus is working with major clients, including the camera maker Canon and the Japanese division of the American company Synopsys.
It is also worth noting the scale of this effort. The Japanese government is providing significant financial support to ensure this project succeeds. They want to make sure the world has more options for where these high-tech parts are made.
This aligns with current international goals. As President Trump continues to emphasize the importance of secure and diverse technology partnerships, Japan's progress helps create a more stable global supply chain.
Looking ahead, what is the timeline for this project?
Rapidus aims to move from these early trials to full mass production by the year 2027. If they succeed, it will revolutionize the performance of digital cameras and specialized medical imaging devices.
It is a clear sign that Japan is ready to compete at the highest level again. Thank you for that analysis, Jamie.
My pleasure, Alex. We will certainly keep a close eye on their progress leading up to 2027.
Good morning. Today, we are looking at significant shifts in the global economy as new trade policies go into effect.
Hello, Alex. It has been a difficult day for Wall Street. The stock market saw a sharp decline today after the 25% tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico officially started.
The numbers show real concern. The Dow Jones fell by nearly 2%, while the Nasdaq dropped by more than 3%. Investors are worried about rising costs, especially in the car industry and the farming sector.
That is true, and we are already seeing a reaction from our neighbors. The Canadian government responded immediately by putting taxes on $155 billion worth of American goods.
It is a tense situation. In addition to Canada, China is signaling that it may soon tax U.S. farm exports. This makes the trade relationship even more difficult.
Many people are asking how this affects them directly. Financial analysts warn that these trade measures could lead to higher prices for everyday items, such as groceries and electronics, in the coming months.
Despite this market volatility, the Trump administration remains confident. The president maintains that these tariffs are a necessary tool. He believes they will help the U.S. get better trade deals and encourage companies to move their factories back to American soil.
It is a steady strategy, but it certainly brings uncertainty to the global market. We will continue to watch these developments closely.
Thank you for the analysis, Jamie. We will be back with more updates as the situation evolves.
Good morning. In today's business news, we are looking at a very positive financial report from National Vision Holdings. The company has just released its results for the end of 2025.
That is correct, Alex. It was a strong year for them. Their total revenue grew by 15%, reaching over $500 million. This suggests that their current business strategy is working well.
It certainly is. The report shows that sales at their existing stores grew by more than 6%. In fact, this is the 12th quarter in a row where they have seen positive growth. They are calling this a result of disciplined cost management,
Which is quite important in today's economy. CEO Alex Wilkins noted that the company is successfully reaching new groups of customers. This expansion has helped improve their profit margins, even as other businesses face economic challenges.
and the outlook for 2026 remains bright. Despite some uncertainty in the wider market, National Vision expects to stay profitable and continue growing.
Financial experts are responding well to this news. They see it as a sign of resilience. It shows that essential services like healthcare-related retail remain a very stable part of the domestic economy.
It is a good example of how steady management can lead to long-term success. Thank you for that analysis, Jamie.
You're welcome, Alex. We will continue to monitor how these trends develop into the new year.
Hello and welcome. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie. Today we are discussing a major change in U.S. foreign policy.
That is correct. President Trump has issued a new executive order. This order suspends all military aid shipments to Ukraine effective immediately.
The White House says this decision follows several high-level meetings. The goal of the pause is to put pressure on all sides to reach a peace settlement.
President Trump explained that he is skeptical of a purely military solution. He stated that his main priority is to stop the killing and bring the conflict to an end.
However, this move has caused a lot of discussion. Many European allies and some U.S. lawmakers are criticizing the decision. They are concerned that it might weaken Ukraine's ability to defend itself.
That is a significant concern. In fact, several member states of the European Union have already responded. They plan to increase their own defense spending to fill the gap left by the United States.
Despite these reactions, the White House remains firm. They believe a shift in strategy is necessary. Their focus is now on using diplomatic channels to achieve long-term stability in the region.
It is a very calm but very firm shift in policy. We will continue to watch how these diplomatic talks develop.
Thank you for joining us for this update.
Goodbye for now.
Good morning. Today, we are following a significant diplomatic mission in the Middle East. President Trump has sent Special Envoy Steve Witkoff to the region to help secure a lasting peace.
Hello, Alex. This is a very important visit. Mr. Witkoff is there to extend the current ceasefire in Gaza. The main goal is to move the agreement into its second phase.
Can you explain what this second phase involves?
Certainly. It focuses on two main goals. First, the release of the remaining hostages. Second, the stabilization of humanitarian conditions to provide better aid to the people in the area.
It sounds like a complex process. Who else is involved in these discussions?
The United States is working closely with key mediators from Egypt and Qatar. These partners are essential for the negotiations. Overall, the administration wants to reduce tensions and prevent the conflict from spreading to neighboring countries.
We have heard reports of some recent ceasefire violations. Is the diplomatic team still hopeful?
There are definitely challenges, Alex. However, the State Department expressed cautious optimism. They believe that with direct, high-level negotiation, a renewed commitment to the deal can be reached.
This mission highlights the White House's active role in managing international crises. We will continue to watch these developments closely. Thank you for the update, Jamie.
You are very welcome, Alex.
Good morning. Today, we are looking at a significant protest taking place at the Maine State House.
Hello, Alex. Many citizens gathered in Augusta today to voice their concerns about a new budget proposal. This plan suggests cutting $30 million from childcare and Head Start programs.
That is a large amount of money. Specifically, the proposal aims to reduce the stipends, or extra pay, that support childcare workers.
Exactly. These workers often earn low wages. People protesting say that if their pay is reduced, many will leave their jobs. This could cause a staffing crisis and force some childcare centers to close.
This would be a major challenge for working families. Without childcare, many parents may not be able to go to work themselves.
That is the main argument from the protesters. However, there is another side to the debate. Some legislators support the cuts. They believe the state must practice fiscal restraint, or careful spending.
And where would that money go instead?
Supporters of the budget plan want to move those resources to other infrastructure projects, like roads and public buildings. They believe this will help the state's economy in different ways.
It is a difficult balance between supporting the social safety net and funding other state needs. This situation in Maine highlights a national conversation about the cost of early childhood education.
It certainly does. The Health and Human Services Committee is scheduled to vote on this measure later this week. Many people are watching this vote as a sign of how state policies might change in the future.
Thank you for that clear analysis, Jamie. We will continue to monitor the situation as the vote approaches.
You're welcome, Alex.
And thank you for joining us today. Stay tuned for more updates.
Good morning. Today we are discussing a serious public health alert from the state of Maine. Health officials are concerned about a sudden and sharp increase in HIV cases.
That is correct, Alex. Since last October, a single county in Maine has reported more than 20 new HIV diagnoses. Usually, that same area only sees about 2 cases per year. This is a very significant jump.
It is indeed. Experts have identified a clear connection between this surge and 2 major social challenges: homelessness and injection drug use. The situation highlights how closely public health is tied to living conditions.
Another worrying detail from the report is that 95% of these new patients also have hepatitis C. This shows that many people are facing multiple health crises at the same time, making treatment much more difficult.
In response, local nonprofit groups are calling for immediate action. They are asking for more funding to support mobile health clinics. These clinics can travel directly to those in need to provide testing and preventative care.
That seems like a practical step. However, many experts believe we must also look at the root causes. They argue that to truly stop the spread of these diseases, we need better social services to address addiction and the lack of affordable housing.
It is a complex issue that requires a steady and organized response from both health and social departments. We will continue to monitor the situation as it develops.
Thank you for the report, Alex.
Thank you for joining us. Stay safe and informed.
Good morning. I'm Alex. Today we are looking at a significant environmental report recently published in the journal Nature.
Hello, Alex. This report is quite concerning. It suggests that hundreds of previous studies may have underestimated the threat of rising sea levels.
Exactly. Researchers from Wageningen University analyzed nearly 400 papers. They found a common error in how land elevation, or the height of the land, was measured.
That is a critical point. Because the land height data was wrong, the projections for sea level rise were off by 20 to 30 centimeters on average.
This means the risk is much higher than we realized. The study says millions more people are at risk of flooding, particularly in Southeast Asia and the southern United States.
It is surprising that 90% of previous research used these inaccurate data sets. Now climate scientists say the timeline for coastal impact is moving much faster than our current models show.
This information comes at an important time for the government. With President Trump in office, many experts are calling for an immediate update to international assessment reports to reflect these new facts.
It certainly shows a need for urgency. We need accurate data to help coastal communities prepare for these changes before it is too late.
Thank you for that clear analysis, Jamie. We will continue to monitor how the administration and international groups respond to this research.
Thank you, Alex. We will stay tuned for more updates.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the program. Today, we are looking at a serious environmental report regarding wildfires in our northern forests.
That is right, Alex. Scientists have discovered a worrying change in how these fires behave. Normally, we think of fires burning trees and bushes on the surface. However, these northern fires are now burning much deeper.
When you say deeper, you mean they are burning the actual soil, correct?
Exactly. They are burning into what is called peat soil. This is a thick layer of organic matter that has stored carbon for hundreds of years. Scientists call this ancient carbon.
So instead of just a quick fire, these are ground fires that can last for a long time.
Yes, these fires can smolder slowly for weeks. Because the soil is so rich in carbon, burning it releases huge amounts of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. This creates a dangerous cycle. More warming leads to more fires, which then release even more carbon.
It sounds like a difficult challenge for the landscape to recover.
It is. This study, which used both satellite data and ground samples, shows that these deep burns change the land permanently. It makes it much harder for the forest to grow back and store carbon in the future.
This research really highlights why forest management is so important. Under the current administration, President Trump has emphasized the importance of managing our natural resources. Protecting these northern areas seems more critical than ever.
It certainly is. Managing these fires is not just about saving trees, it's about keeping that ancient carbon safely in the ground.
A very clear look at a complex issue. Thank you for that analysis, Jamie.
You're very welcome, Alex.